Hey everybody, I'm Kyle, and welcome to Confined Space Living. Now, as a lot of you may have guessed, I am a coffee addict, as are most truck drivers. But, as I may have mentioned in the past, I like to drink bulletproof coffee. That's coffee with a little bit of butter. So today, I'm going to show you how I like to make my coffee. Starting with whole beans, which I grind myself shortly before I brew. Fresh. Back up in there. Beans. Into the grinder. There we go. Fresh ground coffee. Take our little scoop. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 scoops of coffee for a pop. Given feedback I've received at past workplaces, that's probably too strong for most people, but truck drivers aren't most people. Now we wrap up the cord and stick that back out of the way. The excess coffee grinds I put in my can to save later. Nothing goes to waste. Not overusing my coffee, underusing it, not throwing it out just for the hell of it. Now, got a jug of water with a nice little hand pump on it here, so I'm going to fill up this directly from the water pump. That to brew, it's time to set up the rest of my coffee. Alright, now this is a little trick that I figured out somewhat recently to make my coffee a little extra strong, because I like strong coffee. Classic instant coffee. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of this to my blender. There we go. packaging designed for homes is not meant to survive constant road vibration. That's why my butter dish goes inside a Ziploc bag before it goes back into my little cooler. Now we're going to wait for the coffee to brew. And I'm going to pause the video while we wait. I'll resume it when I pull it back out for you. Alright, coffee's done brewing. So let's go ahead and shut off the pot, unplug it. And now we're going to pour it in the blender. Nothing exciting there, just pouring coffee in a blender. There, and tuck it out of the way. We'll put the lid on the blender. And bring the blender up here so I can plug it in. Now here's a little trick that you may or may not know. It's something I had to figure out for myself because nobody ever told me. But when you got a blender full of liquid, if you just hit the button and go straight to full speed, the liquid's going to surge up and out the top. And even if you're holding the lid in place, it's going to make a mess. So I'm going to use the pulse button and pulse it a few times, get it moving, and then I'll set it to the speed I want and let it blend for a bit. While that's blending, assuming you can hear me, I'm going to start getting the cup ready. I've talked about this before, the heavy mug. It's my favorite mug. It is 3 pounds of stainless steel. Came with a shitty lid, so I had to figure that out, but it is an otherwise awesome mug. Problem with it though is a lot of the weight is in this handle. So when you set it down while it's empty, or mostly empty, it's going to want to tilt. So be careful how you do that. I always set it down so that I can lean the handle against the door of my closet. There we go. The blender mixed the butter into the coffee much better than simply trying to stir it with a spoon. And as you can see, you end up with a very smooth, rich finish there. A little bit of foam on top. Looks just like some kind of cappuccino or something you might get at a store. Hole. And now we're done. Coffee brewed and ready to drink. Thank you much. If you enjoyed my videos, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and catch me next time on Confined Space Living.